It was March 12th, 2025, and the 9-day haul from Texas to El Paso had finally ended. I'd delivered the last of the electronics in San Antonio, feeling the familiar post-trip exhaustion, yet strangely peaceful. The client asked if I was heading straight back to Austin, but the thought of surprising Sarah, my wife, was suddenly irresistible. I pictured her smile, the way she always greeted me. House lights warm, music soft, the aroma of something delicious simmering on the stove. I had a silly little paper flower. A gas station girl in Dallas had given it to me, and it felt perfect for this unexpected homecoming. The drive was quiet, almost eerie. By the time I pulled up to our Willow Creek home, a gnawing unease had taken root. No barking dogs, no welcoming lights, no Sarah dashing out to greet me. The usual cheerful chaos was replaced by an unsettling silence. I honked, a gentle, familiar sound, but only the stillness answered. The empty street felt like a stage set for a nightmare. My backpack slung over my shoulder, the paper flower crinkling in my hand. I approached the house. The front door stood slightly ajar, the first chilling crack in the facade of normalcy. Maybe she'd popped to the store, I reasoned, trying to quell the rising panic. But the air held a strange, cloying sweetness, a damp, almost sickly scent that had nothing to do with Sarah's usual home-baked goodness. Inside, a grey sweater lay discarded on the living room floor. Far too large for Sarah, definitely masculine. Beside it, a pair of unfamiliar women's sandals. My heart hammered a frantic rhythm against my ribs. Each step up the wooden stairs felt heavy, agonizingly slow. A muffled sound drifted from upstairs, a low murmur, a chuckle. Thief? Intruder? A horrifyingly plausible explanation was taking shape in my mind. The air thickened, a suffocating, a blanket of dread. My hand trembled as I reached for the doorknob, the paper flower a pathetically fragile symbol of the idyllic reunion that was now undeniably shattered. I had to know. I had to see. The hallway was dim, the bedroom door ajar. A shadowy movement inside, a silence heavy with unspoken things. My heart hammered against my ribs. Two muffled chuckles cut through the stillness, and suddenly a cold dread washed over me. It felt like a punch to the gut. I pressed myself against the wall, eyes squeezed shut, bracing for the worst. The whispers continued, conspiratorial, intimate, like a secret language spoken only to the darkness. Time warped, seconds stretched into an eternity. My gut churned, a maelstrom of anxiety and rage. Fear, a paralyzing grip, kept me rooted to the spot. Finally, with agonizing slowness, I pushed open the door. The hinges screamed, a jarring sound that sliced through the tension. Under the covers, two figures. A startled rustle. What was that? A mumbled question, the light switch flipped, the room exploding in brightness. What the hell is going on here? My voice, raw and unfamiliar, echoed in the sudden silence. Then a shriek. A girl, face ashen, eyes wide with terror, scrambled from the bed, a sheet clinging to her like a shroud. It wasn't Laura, it was Sarah, my wife's sister. Next to her, a guy, shirtless, and looking like he'd just witnessed a ghost, a picture of abject regret etched on his face. For a terrifying second, I thought I'd lost everything. My wife, my home, my sanity. The relief that followed was almost as brutal as the fear. My wife's sister, in our bed, with a stranger. Sarah stammered an explanation, a torrent of half-formed sentences and nervous giggles. The guy remained frozen, speechless. "Where's Laura?" I managed, my voice a hoarse whisper. Sarah finally got it out. "Doctor's appointment, a package to pick up. She was waiting here and... He's my boyfriend. I didn't know you'd be home." The words hung in the air, heavy and suffocating. My legs threatened to buckle. Anger, confusion, and a nauseating wave of relief collided, leaving me reeling. And using our bed seemed like a brilliant plan. Sarah mumbled something about not expecting me back. The guy tried to interject, but I cut him off with a wave of my hand. I didn't even have the energy to be angry with him. I just needed air, needed to escape the suffocating claustrophobia of the moment. I turned and fled. Down the stairs, into the living room. That unfamiliar scent lingered, a stark reminder of the intrusion. It wasn't Laura's perfume. I sank onto the couch, hands clasped over my face, the weight of the revelation pressing down on me. The world felt suddenly off-kilter. The familiar landscape of my life warped and distorted. Jessica's blue car idled in front of the house, a jarring note against the quiet suburban street. The whole thing felt surreal, a bad movie playing out. In my living room, Sarah, my sister-in-law, had just confessed, mumbled really, about the guy she'd snuck into our bed. He'd vanished, leaving only the lingering scent of cheap cologne and the awkward silence that followed. Jessica's worried face, framed by the car window, told me this wasn't just a minor hiccup. It was a full-blown dumpster fire. The origami crane in my backpack felt ridiculously out of place, a tiny paper bird amidst the chaos. She burst in, all frantic energy and concern, her question hanging in the air. "Are you okay?" The irony wasn't lost on me. Sarah, head hung low, offered a pathetic excuse. Jessica, understandably furious, was less interested in Sarah's flimsy justifications and more focused on the blatant betrayal. It wasn't just about the infidelity, it was the violation of their shared space, their unspoken trust. It felt like a punch to the gut, a betrayal that resonated far beyond the confines of our home. The tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. Jessica's anger wasn't directed at me. It was a protective shield against the pain her sister had inflicted. Through the simmering rage, however, a glimmer of vulnerability shone. The story of her rushed return, her desire to surprise me with an early dinner, her longing for my company, tugged at my heart. It was a testament to the strength of our connection, a lifeline in the midst of the storm. We processed the fallout, the wreckage of a perfect evening, the unspoken hurts and betrayals. Sarah's hurried exit left an echoing silence, broken only by the quiet confession of Jessica's unwitting participation in the mess. She hadn't known, hadn't suspected a thing. Her simple request for a book pickup had spiraled into a catastrophe. The origami crane, finally placed on the table, became a poignant symbol of the delicate balance between trust and betrayal. Jessica's hand in mine, her soft smile, her admission that we'd messed it all up. Those were the things that mattered. In the aftermath of chaos, amidst the wreckage of a broken trust, our love remained. It was fragile, yes, but it was there. And that, I knew, was a beginning. A little trinket, a gift from a girl in Austin. She'd said it was for someone special, a smile playing on her lips. The irony wasn't lost on us. After the whirlwind, it was completely unexpected. Laughter erupted, a shaky start that built to something louder, that nervous, teary-eyed kind of laughter. And I think that's what saved us that night, the absurdity of it all. Because sometimes it's not the big betrayals, the screaming matches, or the grinding monotony that cracks a relationship, but the little misunderstandings, the silences that stretch into canyons, and surprises completely out of place. Laura got us water. "Two surprises that don't kill," she said, raising her glass, "only give you palpitations." We clinked glasses, and for a moment the house felt like home again, or so I thought, because the next day brought a different kind of knock. And it wasn't Sarah this time. The Dallas sky was a breathtaking March blue, a calm start to the morning. I'd managed a few hours of sleep, enough for my body, not my soul. Laura had already left for work, a kiss on my forehead, and a note, "Thanks for keeping your cool. Love you." On the table, still in my robe, coffee in hand, I watched the street when the bell rang. I braced myself, not Sarah again, I hoped. But it wasn't. Standing on my doorstep was Sarah's boyfriend, tall, a picture of nervous energy, a bag clutched in his hand, his face a mask of regret and fear. "Sir, can we talk?" I wasn't in the mood for a sermon, but something in his eyes stopped me from slamming the door. He launched into a mumbled apology to me, Laura, and Sarah. He'd been a fool, he'd overstepped, never imagining the fallout. I listened. Sarah had told him how I'd handled things, that I hadn't yelled, hit her, or humiliated her. "That's not my style," I said simply. He looked down. "My dad, a trucker like you, he died 2 years ago. His name was Robert. He used to say a good man's character is revealed in his worst moments. You showed me what that meant yesterday." That hit me hard, unexpected, deep. "Thank you," I managed, at a loss for words. "I brought this." He offered the bag. "Homemade bread. My grandma says food mends things." I smiled for the first time since he'd arrived. "Tell your grandma and you." "Thank you, learn from this." He nodded. A brief, sincere handshake, then disappeared down the street, leaving behind the near heart attack he'd given me the day before. I sat down, broke the bread, cinnamon swirl, tasting of childhood memories, and laughed. It all started with a surprise, and I nearly got surprised by everyone. This one's for Sarah, who handled everything with such poise, for Jessica, whose impulsiveness, thankfully, didn't cause any real damage, and for that kid who taught me a valuable lesson. Sometimes you learn more from screwing up than from nailing it. I tucked a paper flower next to a photo of Sarah and me in Miami. A reminder that homes don't fall apart from a little mayhem, they fall apart from silence. We talked, we freaked out, we talked some more, and that's why we're still a family. Ever walk in the door and get that unsettling feeling something's wrong? Ever feel like you're living a movie? Let's hear it in the comments. Sharing your story might help someone more than you know. If this story resonated, made you chuckle, think, or remember something similar, hit that subscribe button. We dish out real life with humor, heart, and a whole lot of honesty. And if you know someone who loves a surprise visit, send them this video. Maybe they'll get the hint that not all surprises are created equal. Thanks for watching. Join me next time for another story where I promise reality is way stranger than fiction. This whole thing, while initially a total roller coaster, actually brought us closer. We learned to really listen, to communicate better, and to appreciate those unexpected moments of clarity that come from facing tough times together. It hammered home the idea that even the craziest situations can lead to growth and a deeper understanding of ourselves and each other. So the next time life throws you a curveball, remember this: communication is key, empathy matters, and the human spirit? It's surprisingly resilient.